going on? It's Kevin Kenny, the Build Series live in New York City, and I'm hereby declaring this episode a #1 record after party because our guest that's about to join me on stage has topped the Billboard dance chart with Something About You featuring Rudimental. Please let's give a warm welcome to Elderbrook. Welcome to Build, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to New York City.
It's lovely here.
We should give you the key to the city because you actually just sold out your New York show.
I would love
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I would love a key.
Yeah. What do they do with the keys? It's just commemorative, right? When they give people keys?
It's like more like a bling kind of thing at this point. I don't think there's really a key that opens everything, not every single little thing.
You should wear it around your neck at Bowery Ballroom.
You know what?
That would be baller.
I'm going to put in some calls. I'm going to make this happen.
Well, you know, it's really exciting times because you're going to Toronto tonight. We were just talking during the music video.
Yeah.
And you got a sold-out gig there. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
Which sounds way cooler than Bowery Ballroom. I've never been to the... Have you ever been there?
Bowery?
No, this Velvet Underground.
No,
Yeah.
I've only been to Toronto once before, so... Yeah.
All right. I just imagine Drake everywhere.
Yeah, I think
walking
that's
down
pretty
the
much
street.
what it is.
Yeah. And then also congratulations, sold at the Troubadour out in LA.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I mean, does it hit you? This is really cool. I mean, these are very exciting times for you.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess, hitting me a bit now that you said it in such quick succession.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess it's one of those things where it's happened so slowly after a long time of working really hard. And so, yeah, it's nice to be able to come to a completely different country and be so well received.
Yeah. I first heard your music and was turned on to your career back in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not. When you did the Sorry, I don't even want to call it a cover.
Yeah.
You totally reinterpreted Justin Bieber's Sorry.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was a random one. That was actually pretty much exactly 4 years ago around this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the first covers I actually did. And yeah, you're right. I completely just wanted to really, really change that one.
Now, the thought process, did you hear the song and you said, oh, this should be totally different. I need to change this. Did you want to take it in a new direction? Like, what was the origin of that creative process?
Well, obviously at that time, that song was absolutely massive. One of the biggest songs of all time. And yeah, I guess I wanted to see what I could do with it and see if I could change it. And my reason for going towards it was to completely put it on its head, and hopefully I did that.
No, you definitely did. I mean, the drums on it almost sound like Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's really cool. You took it. If you know Sorry at home and you love the Justin Bieber track, you got to check out Elderbrook's rendition of it. Do you find yourself typically doing that with songs? Like you'll hear a song on the radio or maybe on a playlist, and you go, "Oh man, like it's good, but I could take the sentiment and just make it so different. Not better, but just different."
Yeah, that's not always the way I'd want to. I'm not saying that I could do songs better than everyone.
No, right. No, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, I love, like, whenever I'm around the house, I'm always picking up the guitar or, like, playing some stuff here and there. So I just like reinterpreting other people's songs, really, in a way that is completely different to the way it was done.
Have you ever done that with a popular song that we would know, but maybe it didn't make it out to streaming services, but it's just interesting to think about?
I've been messing around with the song by Tones and I, Dance Monkey, recently, so I think there might be something coming out of that.
So that's a very upbeat song, and
exactly.
Also going crazy. Would you take it and make it more mellow?
I'd make it a lot more mellow, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I think of when on this topic we're talking about is, you remember the classic 90s song, Torn by Natalie Imbruglia?
Are you going to have to sing it for me?
No. I would not do you justice, Natalie.
I do know this song.
You know this song,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like a easy listening pop hit. But it was also done by an alternative rock band called Edna Swap, and I love that version because that's really it's kind of grungy. But it came to mind when I was thinking about what you did with Bieber.
Yeah, no, it's fun just to completely switch stuff around. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Did you see? What was bigger? I mean, of course, Cola. We'll get into it. Just really blew you up. But did you see that first cover just because the song was so big with Bieber? Did you see that really get you a bunch of new fans back in the day?
Well, I just wanted to do it just for fun. So I didn't do it trying to get all new fans or anything. Just thought it was a cool thing to do.
Right.
You know?
Well, let's get into Cola now because you go back to almost really 3 years ago at this point, February 2017. And of course, now you're a Grammy nominee forever thanks to this song.
Yeah.
But it was kind of just like I don't want to say a throwaway, but it was a song that you didn't think much of at first.
You're right. I mean, I had the session with Camel Fat that I did the song with, 2 DJs from Liverpool. And we had a day in the studio. It was only about maybe 4 hours in the studio. And in that time, we got like 3 songs done. Like they came in with the instrumentals. They said, all right, do something, and I was it was my only job to do something that everyone else was just sitting around. So I was like, okay, I have to do this. So we got about 3 songs. One of them was Cola. about a couple of months later, they got in touch and said that it was going to be released. And I was like, okay, cool. And then it was released. And yeah, I guess it's just been surprising me since.
So how does a song like that, though, collect such an organic groundswell that the Academy eventually recognizes it and puts it up for a Grammy?
Well, the song was actually, it grew really, really slowly and bubbled around for ages. So I think it was released at the beginning of the summer a couple of years ago. And yeah, I guess the clubs were playing it all over Ibiza. And it really started as an underground club song. And I guess that got so much traction until eventually the radio started playing it, which, I mean, when the radio started playing a song like that, I was so surprised. Because, I mean, I always loved the song, but I never thought ever in a million years that it would be played on mainstream radio in the UK. So I guess that started happening. And then, yeah, just kept on turning over until eventually it was recognized by the Academy.
It's wild. Congratulations. A belated
Thank you.
congratulations, but nevertheless.
Thank you.
Grammy nominee. I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
that would be my Twitter bio forever.
Yeah, I should put it in the bio, shouldn't I?
But when you, as a young artist, as any young artist, I think a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to write a hit or trying to write a song that they feel could break through. And then here you are, you kind of, you don't put much thought into the song at first, and then it becomes this huge Grammy-nominated hit. How does that impact your creative process going forward? How does it change it?
Well, I've always thought. Well, it's taken me a while to realize, but I've always thought that when you try and write a hit or whatever, then obviously it's never ever going to happen, because the reason why people really respond to music in such a way is that it's so new and it's something that they've never heard before. So if you're trying to make something that's already been made, then no one's really going to care. And I think that's how I actually started my career back in, I don't want to say how many years ago, like maybe 5 years ago, when I was uploading songs online to SoundCloud. I was just uploading songs to my 150 followers. Like, no one really cared. So I was just doing it for me. I was trying to make something different. And again, I think the reason why people responded is because they never heard something like that before.
Right. And I think the music fan is very savvy, maybe more savvy than they've ever been.
Yeah.
So I think we can spot intention.
Yeah,
You know, it's
exactly.
kinda like-
Oh, I see what they tried to do there.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. I know what
Right?
you mean.
Yeah. So it's cool when it's organic like that. And it's also cool when you top the charts with a track, dude. Congratulations. This is
Thank
just,
you.
Where were you? I know it's a cliche question, but where were you when you found out?
Where was I? That's actually a really, really good point.
Life is a blur
think-
these days.
yeah.
but can you
I think, well, I was on tour last week in Europe, so I was in. I was definitely backstage somewhere. I couldn't tell you where, but it was one of the backstage at the before a show, and I found out, and it was amazing. Like, this is first time since Cola that anything like this has happened. So it was definitely a surprise.
And how did you meet the Rudimental guys? How many people are in Rudimental? I remember we did a performance with them one time at Billboard, and it was like, I feel like, how many?
There's roughly 4.
Oh, really? Maybe they had a bunch of like day guys, but it was like, I remember it was a very crowded stage.
Yeah, they all. Yeah, there's a few of them, but I guess I met them back when I first ever got involved in the music industry. After a couple of my online tracks started popping off, I got signed to a label in London, and they were also on the label. So I was introduced to them. They've been around for a bit longer than me, so I knew them. I grew up with kind of listening to their music as well. So I always respected them. I always knew them, and we always said to each other in passing, "Oh yeah, we should do a tune together one day, man." And we kept on saying that until we did a tune together, and it was this one.
Yeah. They're sort of known, really their specialty
Yeah.
is the collaborations. They've done great work with like a James Arthur in the past. They're Anne Marie, of course, too. I mean, I think maybe even Ed Sheeran back in the day. What stuck out to you about their sort of collaborative process, just given how great they are in their track record?
Well, I mean, they've obviously, like I said, been working with so many people for so long, and I think what's great about them is they work with other artists in completely different ways, and they can see what an artist is good at maybe, and then take that and kind of put themselves in it rather than trying to change them too much. So with the Ed Sheeran song you're talking about, it's very much still a guitar and his voice back in the old days when that's the only thing he did. So he kept that going, and I think that's one of the reasons why it worked so well with me. I mean, I had the lyrics and melody written down before I actually got in touch with them. I was trying to do the production for so long, and I just couldn't make it work. So I got in touch with them. They wanted to help. They're involved, so we finished it off together.
It's great.
And then now it is.
How do you like collaborating when it's not in person? I know, like, the electronic world does it better than most other genres, But do you gain anything from being in person? I think there's a romanticism to it, right?
Yeah,
like, the good old days. But do you feel like you actually gain anything from being in the same studio?
I think writing something absolutely from scratch, like there's nothing. Well, it's really helped me in my writing, working with other people, just because I remember when I first ever started, I'd be in my room trying to write a song, and it would take maybe 2 weeks to write a song.
Oh, wow.
And so I would just like put something down and be like, hold on, is that good? I don't know. Like, what's going on? Like, do I do this? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And then now that I'm working with other people, I put something down, and they're like, oh, that's cool. And then be like, okay, cool. And then we move on to the next thing, and then it's pretty much a song a day.
Makes it more
at that point.
efficient, it sounds like. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's someone to bounce ideas off, and so that you're not always second-guessing yourself.
Yeah. You did something really cool with the video for this track. Kind of used the platform to talk about an important issue. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I guess when I wrote the song originally, it was mainly about people needing people and opening up, and it being okay to lean on other people, emotionally talking. And I guess when we were looking for ideas for videos, we said that, and someone came back with the idea, there it is, of people dancing in a self-help group and using dance as a way of showing their vulnerability, when I guess a lot of the time, in a lot of different cultures, men are a bit reluctant to open up at certain...
You're supposed to be like the tough guy.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
masculine guy. You're not supposed to talk about your feelings.
Exactly. So I think this was like the dancing in a kind of an odd way was trying to show that vulnerability and the togetherness as well, because when you open up and you are vulnerable, then you kind of become a little bit of a team.
Yeah, and that's where growth happens.
Yeah.
No matter what you do for a living. What's also what I love about this is there's a lot of silly trends online.
Yeah.
A lot of silly dance challenges. But it was cool that this message actually transcended the video, and it's going like mental on TikTok right now.
Yeah.
Is it the Something About You challenge? Is that the official name?
Yeah, the Together is Stronger challenge, yeah.
Okay, cool. And have you had fun just watching people?
I have had fun, and do you know what? People have taken it and they've made it so much like they've made it their own. And they've like made it into proper choreography that I think I'd very much get lost in trying to replicate.
Yeah. Are you much of a dancer yourself?
Not choreographed dancing per se, but if you ever see me live, I do some quite strange moves.
What is the live show like?
So the live show is just me on stage. I'm playing keys, playing drum machine, looping stuff in and out, singing the whole time, and moving in weird and wonderful ways.
Yeah. And are you just completely exhausted afterwards?
Yeah, I am completely exhausted. And
After the high dies down.
I'm a little bit drenched in sweat afterwards as well. If anyone's ever seen me just after a show, I am like, it's pretty bad.
What song of yours that kind of cracks me up just personally is Capricorn.
Yeah.
It's about a particular significant other that's obsessed with astrology.
Yeah, it's about someone that is obsessed with horoscopes and really lets them define, I guess, their relationship, their life and their relationship. So if they read that something's not going to be right in their relationship, that is how it's going to go. So I guess in the song Capricorn that I wrote and released last year, in the second verse, he gets a job at the newspaper column and he actually writes the horoscopes.
To fix the problem right there.
To his advantage. And they live happily ever after.
That's awesome. It reads like my IG stories. It's just everybody's. Yeah. I know what everybody's sign is, even if I've never met them.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So, on the topic of what's next and where things are going for you, like, is an album important to you?
Album is very important to me.
Why is it in the electronic genre? Why would you say is it important?
Well, the reason why it's important to me is because I actually come from more of an alternative and indie background. Like when I was younger, when I was first starting to get into music, it was very much from an indie point of view. I was in a little 4-piece band with some friends from school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we fancied ourselves as a bit of the Strokes, Kings of Leon kind of thing. So that's definitely like the world I came from.
And you've toured with Rufus, right?
I have toured with Rufus. Yeah, all around the States. But yeah, I guess that's the reason why album's really important to me. It's going to be coming out next year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. You think it's going to be a big body of work, or maybe is it you're going to go the concise route? I feel like there's two roads these days.
I know what you
Like,
mean.
You're going to give us 25 songs, or you're going to give
It's
us
not
like,
going to be quite 25 songs,
Yeah.
but it's going to be just the right amount.
Nice. Perfect. We look forward to it. Let's get to some fan questions here in New York City. The first is going to come from over here.
Hi. I was wondering what your go-to karaoke song is.
Ooh. My go-to karaoke song is Locked Up by Akon.
Nice, dude.
No lie, honestly. I'm
Where does
really
that
good
come from?
at it. I'm just really good at singing it
Yeah.
for some reason.
That was my ringtone in 6th grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it gave me like no street cred, but
Maybe we should do it
when
now.
Rang off at recess. Yeah, yeah. Let's collab on that. We have time for one more final fan question. Let's try to top
Hi.
that.
Thanks for coming to talk to us today. You said that you were influenced by indie music, so I just wanted to know what your favorite indie bands are.
My absolute favorite indie band of all time is Kings of Leon. I love them ever since the first album, and they've been one of my favorite bands since then.
Anybody you're listening to right now that's like we would just maybe a casual fan would be surprised by?
What that I listen
Just
to?
yeah, like in your free time, you know. Somebody that just assumes you only listen to dance music and music that sounds like yours.
Well, I guess something that I love listening to is like country music, like
Yeah.
pop country music, like you
Yeah.
know that song Tequila.
Oh yeah, dude.
I've
Dan
listened
and
to that.
Shay.
I must have listened to that about 200 times. Honestly, it's yeah. So
What do
I
you
think-
love about it? Is it the songwriting? Is it the sonics?
I think it's the song, but the production's really good as well because it's really like toned down, like laid back as well. It's just absolutely great.
Well, it might be time for an Elderbrook remix of Dan and Shay.
I think it might be the Elderbrook
That'd be
Country
really
album.
cool. Yeah, country's never been more open, dude.
I know.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go. You got to go to Toronto. You also got
I
the
do.
sold-out gig this weekend in New York. Guys, one more time for Elderbrook.